Everybody has heard of overuse injuries, especially with the hands and the wrists and the forearms. But have you ever heard of underuse injuries? It's not something that doctors talk about, but we're going to talk about it here. I'm Matt Shu from Upright Health, where we help you think right, move right, and feel right. If you're new here, be sure to check out the description box for helpful links, and think about subscribing so you don't miss out on any future videos like this one. This video is part 4 of a 4-part video series focused on helping you take care of your muscles. In this series, we are talking about how to think about your muscles, how you can understand them, and how you can maintain them for optimal function. In this video, we're going to talk about overuse injuries and how thinking instead about underuse injuries can help you with your aches and pains. So when I was in my teens and 20s, I actually ran into a lot of pain in my hands and wrists. That was called repetitive strain injury, and basically just means that I was supposedly using my hands, my forearms, and my wrists just too much to type. Now, what happened was I would just rest. My doctors kept saying, just rest, stop using the computer. And a curious thing happened. I discovered that the more I rested, the more I had to rest. Meaning I couldn't actually type any longer because I was resting more and more, and it was doing absolutely nothing to improve my ability to type, to pick things up, to do anything that felt good. I've also seen this phenomenon happen with a lot of our clients here at Upright Health. One of my longtime clients, Jigna, is a pediatrician, and she was starting to get some forearm pain that was just sort of bugging her and then getting kind of sharp and really getting her attention. She went to a hand and wrist specialist who told her that she just needed to rest because she had strained a muscle in her forearm. So she did that. She rested, she rested, she rested. We let her rest for 3 to 4 months, and at the end of it all, this treatment for her overuse injury, for her strain, got her nothing. So her wrist was still just as unstable, her forearm still hurt, she could still feel like everything was unstable and just not good. So what helped Jigna? Well, after we decided that rest wasn't helping, we discovered that doing wrist exercises, forearm exercises, shoulder exercises to wake up some dormant muscles was really helpful. This is the exact same story that happened for me. For my hands, my wrists, and my forearms, my problem wasn't because of overuse. Yes, I was doing the same typing motions over and over and over again, but it wasn't because I was doing those motions that I was overusing anything. It was actually that my forearms and wrists and fingers were getting weak because they hadn't been doing anything harder than typing. And so what I've discovered, and what Jigna's discovered, and what a lot of our clients have discovered, is that muscles hurt when they're too weak. So if you're doing a whole lot of one motion and it's not really even a difficult motion, it's not necessarily giving your body enough nutritious movement. It's not giving you enough demand for muscles to develop, for blood to flow through the blood vessels, and weak muscles can also contribute to poor positioning, which can lock up blood flow. So in my case, being hunched forward all the time actually led to restriction in blood flow in my forearms and hands, and then my veins would disappear. I actually went through a period where there was no sign of blood vessels in my forearms because my shoulder muscles were so weak. Now, you may be wondering, is it really possible that atrophy could lead to pain? So I want you to think about this little thought experiment. Lie in bed for 3 days straight. You're not allowed to leave that bed. All you do is rest there. Somebody will bring food to you. I will bring food to you. Creepy Vincent will bring water to you. We'll keep you alive, but you need to stay in that bed for 3 straight days. How do you think your body is going to feel at the end of those 3 days? If you guessed terrible, you're correct. The muscles in your body require movement in order to feel good. If you lie in bed for 3 days, you're going to have so much soreness and stiffness in your body, you will want to get up and out of there as fast as you can. Another way to think about this is if you put a cast on your arm. If you completely locked your arm into this position, what would that feel like after 6 months? It's well known that if you splint muscles and are underusing them, they will atrophy and you will get uncomfortable. And you will get very uncomfortable when you start to try to move beyond that range that you were casted in. So if you're locked here, and then after 6 months you want to start to move, the weakness of all the supporting tissues is going to really loudly get your attention with the sensation of pain. In that case, you don't want to just back off and say, you know what, I'm just going to rest it more. In that case, you do need to actually think of this as an underuse injury that requires exercise to build the strength, stability, and comfort back.
The key takeaway here is that just because something's been called an overuse injury doesn't mean it actually is one. Sometimes the problem that you experience is a result of underuse. If I had simply accepted that overuse was the cause of my hand, wrist, and forearm problems, then I would never, ever, ever be able to develop the strength to hold myself upside down, nor would I have been able to get myself to be able to type again. So if you find that rest isn't getting you what you want, then it's time to start thinking about underuse.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you find this concept helpful in taking care of your body and your muscles. If you liked the video, click the like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't. That is in fact the end of this 4-part series on your muscles and how to take care of them. I hope you found it really helpful. Be sure to check out the other 3 parts of this series if you haven't already. You'll find a link in the description box down below. Right, Vincent? Overuse injuries and their in the sense what underuse injuries actually come
way. Sometimes, especially